Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Backbrace Plus channel. My name is Amir, and in today's tutorial we're diving into some essential Kali Linux commands that every beginner should know. These commands will help you navigate through Kali Linux and perform basic network tasks safely and effectively. So go ahead and open your Kali Linux terminal, and by the way, this is going to work on any other Linux distro. But I always prefer those distros which were originally designed for penetration testing and ethical hacking. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out our first command. Our first command in the list today is ping. Go ahead and type ping, followed by the target IP or the website that you want to ping. Let's say for instance google.com. And let me explain what ping command is. Basically, it's a network utility used to check the reachability of a host on an IP network. It's going to send out ICMP echo request messages, and ICMP stands for Internet Control Message Protocol. These messages are going to be sent, but ping is going also to wait for echo reply messages. And if the target device is reachable, we're going to receive replies with information about the round trip time of the packets. Let's go ahead and hit enter and see what do we mean by that. So you can see that it's pinging google.com and tracking the IP address of the website. It could be google.com, yahoo.com, whatever website you want to ping. Or it could be a specific IP address. Now, why the ping command is useful? Well, it's great for troubleshooting network issues for once. And if I'm being totally honest, this is a must-know command for anyone who is working in networking in general. Ping is used to ensure that your local machine can communicate with other devices, whether they are on the same network or across the internet. The next command I have for you is ifconfig, also IP address. These two commands actually display the current network configuration of your machine. They provide information about network interfaces, their IP addresses, net masks, broadcast addresses, and other related details. If I'm talking about the ifconfig, this is an older command, while IPadder is part of the newer IP Route 2 package that's actually recommended for modern Linux distributions. The third command, we're going to use it to get some domain information. So the command itself is called whois, and following that the domain name. So again, let's do google.com and hit enter. What it does actually that it queries the whois database for information about specific domain name. This database contains registration details about domains, including the owner's contact information, registration dates, and name servers. So you can see the first line here tells you that the domain name is google.com, the registry domain ID is this number, registrar whois server, whois.markmonitor.com, and so on. A lot of very important information about Google's contact information, registration dates, and so on. And this command, by the way, helps you gather information about domain ownership, which is really essential for reconnaissance in security assessments. While whois command and other commands that we are explaining in this tutorial are powerful tools for learning and exploration, it's essential to use them responsibly and ethically. And please refrain from using these commands for any malicious activities or unauthorized attacks. Always ensure you have explicit permission to test any network or system. Alright, let's get going. The next command that I have for you today is NetState. NetState command displays the network connections, routing tables, interface statistics, masquerade connections, and multicast memberships. You can run it on its own like that, or also there are some options that you can use. And let me show you some of those options. So do -tuln. So the T is used to show TCP connections, while the U is used to show UDP connections. The L is used to display only listening sockets, that's what the L stands for, and finally the N to show numerical addresses instead of resolving host names. If you will hit enter, you can monitor network activity, identify open ports, and this in fact helps you understand what services are running on your machine. And this is very important for security assessments because any open port can be a potential entry point for attackers. I've explained that thoroughly in my Python for Network Programming course on Backbrace channel. The next command that I have for you is traceroute. Now, traceroute command traces the route the packets take to reach a specific destination. And as you may guessed it, the traceroute should be followed by an IP address or target IP address or a domain. So we can say, for instance, cnn.com, hit enter, and you can see that it's going to display each hop along the way and the time taken for each hop. And it's also going to provide a clear picture of the path the data travels. And this is in fact very useful for diagnostic routing issues and understanding the network path taken to reach a server. And if there are any connectivity issues, the traceroute command can help you identify where the packets are getting delayed or lost. It's a very powerful tool for network troubleshooting and performance analysis. The next command that I have for you, and probably you know it, and it's not only related to Kali, it's curl, C-U-R-L. Now, the curl command is a very versatile tool used to transfer data from or to a server using various protocols, including HTTP, the secure, the HTTPS, FTP, and more. And when you use the curl command to fetch a URL, it retrieves the content of that web page or API endpoint and displays it in the terminal. So if you would do curl http://google.com and hit enter, you can see the contents of google.com website with the HTML tags, with the head tags, title h1, the anchor link for google.com, and the closing HTML tag. The next command that I have for you is airmon-ng. It's a part of the aircrack-ng suite, which is used for wireless network auditing. And you cannot use it just like that. You need to know your network. So if you will do airmon-ng alone, it will tell you need to run it as a root. So you will need to do sudo airmon-ng. And if you will put start, it's also not going to show you much, because we need to follow the airmon-ng start by the name of the wireless interface. And if you remember how to get our wireless interface, we had two commands, one old and one new. The old one was iconfig, and the new one was ipadder. And let me just minimize a little bit. Let's do it like that. You can see that we have two different interfaces, the eth0 and lo. And now let's go ahead and do sudo airmon-ng start the name of the interface. It could be WLAN0, by the way, but of course I will get an error because I don't have WLAN0. And if I will substitute that by eth0, hit enter, and of course I'm not going to get any result. If you're trying to start monitor mode on an Ethernet interface like the one that I have, the eth0, it's not going to work because eth0 refers to a wired network interface and not a wireless one. So that's why I told you you can try it if you have WLAN0 or WLAN1. That's going to work very well. So go ahead, try it out, and let me know in the comment section below what was the result that you have received in your terminal. The next command that I have for you is Nmap, and I'm quite sure that you've heard about this command before. Nmap, or Network Mapper, is a powerful open source tool used for network discovery and security auditing. Now, it's a double-edged sword, so you will need to be very careful not to use the Nmap command in a malicious way. So you can do Nmap on a target IP. Do not try the Nmap command on any IP address in the network without their explicit permission, followed by the SS option for more stealthy scanning for the open ports, then your IP address. But don't forget to add the sudo because you will need root privileges. So do sudo, hit enter, and as you can see that no open ports. My machine is not currently running any services that are accessible from the outside on these common ports, which is generally a good sign for security. So if you've got the same result as me, that means that you're fine. So if you got the same result as me in the terminal, that means that your system is really secure. Just in general, try not to share your IP address. It has a lot of risks, privacy risks, so you can have location tracking by your IP address, targeted attacks, so some individuals might use your IP address to launch some attacks against your network, potentially compromising your security altogether. Also DDoS attacks, that's very, very important. DDoS stands for denial of service attack, or a distributed denial of service attacks, just to be exact. And yeah, I think you know what is DDoS, but if you don't know, simply it's just flooding overwhelming your network and making it unavailable to legitimate users. So let's say if you have an eShop website, for example, cyber criminals can use the DDoS attack on your website just to block it for other users, and they will not be able to navigate through or buy or do whatever they want to do. So always be careful not to expose your own IP address. And that's it, guys. This wraps up our look at these essential Kali Linux commands. Remember, these tools are powerful and designed to help you understand and protect systems, not to harm them. Always use them responsibly in ethical hacking or in controlled environments. And if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips and tutorials on cybersecurity and Linux. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.